Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. Rassie Erasmus has announced his team to take on the Wallabies in Perth this weekend. Obviously coming off a smashing victory the weekend that just passed. But 10 changes, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are very excited to see what this team can do. They are very excited to see some names on the team sheet, but I'm going with a bit of a different route with it. I'm not too happy about it, and call me a negative Nelly or whatever you want to. But I'll obviously explain my reasonings. And it's not that I think all of a sudden, oh, we are going to lose this match or whatever. But I kind of feel like this is a charity team that we just put out. We are giving Australia the best chance that we possibly can. And I don't understand some of the selections. And I'm not taking game time or wanting to rest players as an excuse. And as I said, I will literally explain the reasoning for that. Starting off with the front row, we'll jump straight into it. We got Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Johan Grobelaar and Thomas de Toey. No issues with the front row, right? But in the end, like, okay, fine. Let's keep it at no issues with these ones, because I know it's on form. I've been calling for them for a while. Maybe not as much Jan-Hendrik Wessels, not because he's a bad player, but he's very... like, the boys that he's competing with is Oxenche and Gerard Steenekamp. But the other two are probably the on-form hookers for us. Johan Grobelaar, absolutely brilliant. Thomas de Toey, brilliant in the Premiership, and had a good game against Portugal as well. I mean, scoring 11 tries in a season. I think it was 11. In one Premiership season as a prop. It's unheard of. And then obviously Johan Grobelaar was absolutely amazing for the Bulls. So I've got no real issues with the front row, right? But then when we get to 4 and 5, you've got Salman Murat, who obviously is captain. Congratulations to Salman. I'm not taking that away from him at all. And Ruan Orkia going into that 5 jersey. And I'm thinking, like, why isn't Eben still starting? Like, if you want to give Ruan Orkia game time and stuff, that's obviously what he's been brought in for. Partner him with the experienced lock. Or if you want to give Salman Murat game time, why isn't, for instance, Pieter Steff playing there again? Is Erge still that injured? Or I just don't understand the thought process, and I'm not taking it as an excuse that, yeah, but Etzebeth needs a rest, because we just came off 2 weekends of rest. We played one game. We have next weekend we have a bye once again because we're traveling back to South Africa. Like, why are we just playing one game and then switching it all around? Like, we know our record sucks in Australia. Go ahead and say, listen, okay, it is probably a shitty Australian team at the moment that really struggles, right, and still need to find their feet. But give ourselves the best opportunity to go ahead and win those 2 games so we can just fully focus on the All Blacks next, right? I don't understand some of the team selection. Like, I don't have an issue with Salman Murat. I don't have an issue with Ruan Orkia, but putting them both in and then without the basis of the team there, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's why I don't understand a lot of these choices in terms of we putting guys in, but they're not playing with the base players. They're not playing with the real guys that will always play that position. So the game time is kind of irrelevant as well, because they're not building chemistry. They're not playing with the boys that they will play with. You get what I mean? Then 6, 7, 8, no issues there. Okay, if we want to give CI a rest, just like we just said about Ibanez, but I don't understand it. But Marco van Staden kind of deserves a start as well, and he's partnering the guys that he will play with. Pieter Steff du Toit, Ulrich Louw. No issues there. I've got no issues with our Lucies that we've picked at all. But then moving on to the backline, and I've said it before, I didn't do a predicted lineup video. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have gotten it absolutely horribly wrong. I'm so happy for Morne van der Berg going into that 9 jersey. But I don't understand it. Why is he getting a start above Grant Williams? Like, Grant Williams had 1 start and he got knocked out early. Surely Grant deserves a start, because we know for the future, obviously he's 28 years old, but for the foreseeable future, for the next 4, 5, 6 years, he'll probably start with Sasha in that 10 jersey. Why is Morne van der Berg starting? Right? And even if you wanted to play Grant from the bench because he's an impact player, why isn't Kobus Reinach starting? Like, obviously, Kobus Reinach fits the system so much better than Faf de Klerk. Faf de Klerk's probably back for New Zealand. Why is Kobus Reinach playing 1 game? Like, how is he supposed to get better in the system? Like, we can all agree he struggled last weekend. We had a very up and down game, like a 50-50. But why isn't Kobus Reinach starting again just to build that chemistry with Sasha? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, like, at all. I don't get it. Like, are we just giving out game time now? Like, as I said, I'm very happy for Morne van den Berg, and people can call me negative, but what is the point? It's the same with the Ivan Roos situation, whether you like Ivan or not. If you're going to give a guy game time, you got to give him consistent game time, and I've always used this as an example, right? And it's probably the one that irritates me the most, because I really want to see Kobus Reinach there, and he deserves to be there, and he fits the system the best. But I've always used this as an example with, look at 2019, that English squad, how good Sam Underhill was, right? Got injured, completely fell off the radar, right, for a good few years. Until Steve Borthwick came into England, gave him some consistent game time. He wasn't good from the start, Sam Underhill. Really just tried to find his feet again in the English setup. And now he's one of the best loosies in the world. Like, if you look at how England play and how good Sam Underhill is, he's a massive, massive contributor of how good they are. Now, obviously, they didn't get the results, but individual performances, that's how good he is, because he's been backed. And you kind of need to do the same thing with Kobus Reinach. There's no point in playing him one game, one in a million games, right? Like, and that's why, I know I've said this before, but that's why I'm also saying, like, I don't get this thing about resting players, because we did have a 2-week break, playing one game. Now they're getting a break again, and then there's a week off anyway before the All Blacks. Surely you want to build that chemistry between Reinach and Sasha if you want to play them against the All Blacks as good as you can, unless we just revert back to playing with Faf and Andre, which we have seen against Ireland didn't work. Like, it just didn't work at all. There was no flow. It didn't fit into that Tony Brown system. Like, we even kicked more last weekend than we did against Ireland, and still our attack looked so much more threatening than it did when we actually tried to run the ball against Ireland, just because Faf and Andre just doesn't give you enough variation, enough attacking options. So I just don't get it. Obviously, I'm happy with Sasha going into that 10 position. That's what I'm saying. Let me just clarify this again. I'm happy for all these boys. As an individual, your dream is to play for South Africa and represent South Africa. But as a supporter, wanting us to win the rugby championship, that's why I said I don't think we're going to lose, but I just don't see the point in making 10 changes. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Mapimpi, I don't have an issue with any of the rest of the backline. Mapimpi at 11, no issues there. Lucanio in that 12 jersey, I've heard it before. I think I've mentioned it before. We've seen him. We've heard the rumours that he was training next to Sasha in that inside centre position. Obviously, Andre Esterhuizen not available. Damian Dealender will be vital for us going forward. He does play nearly every single game, so fine. If you want to give him a rest and you want to try something else, see how Lucanio goes in that 12 jersey, I'm fine with that, right? Because it's a bit of a different scenario. And Lucanio has a ton of experience. Jesse Kriel at 13, obviously the first choice. Cheslin Colby in the 14, and then Apelile Fassi going into that 15 position. A lot of people want to see him in that 15 position. This backline suits him, so I've got no problems with Apelile Fassi going into that 15 jersey. Going on to the bench, and I'll straight just go to we've got a 5-3 split. I like the bench. I really do. Starting with the backline, Grant Williams, he'll obviously come on for Morne van den Berg. And I want to see this early. 45 minutes. I want to see Grant Williams get some proper game time. Once again, he deserves it. I really wanted him to start this game. But I mean, obviously Rassie knows best. Rassie knows better than us. So I've got all these questions, and I'm sure Rassie has his reasons for everything. I haven't seen the interviews or anything, or the press conferences like that. But yeah, this is just the first thoughts that come to my mind. Mani Libbok and Andre Pollard to round off the backline on the bench. We'll probably see Mani going into 10 with Sasha coming off, or Sasha moving to fullback with Apelile Fassi going off. And then we'll most likely see Andre Pollard going into that 12 jersey, and either Lucanio moves to outside centre, or Lucanio goes off. Yeah, so we'll probably see the likes of Grant Williams, Mani Libbok in the 10 jersey, excuse me, Andre Pollard inside centre, whoever's outside centre, and then Sasha or Fassi at the fullback position to kind of round off the game. It is something that has been called for. I know people have been calling it when Elton Jantjies was playing, right? Where it was like, is Andre really the best 10? Would he be a better inside centre? So people called to see Elton Yankees in the 10 jersey and Andre Pollard in the 12 jersey. We're finally going to get something like that. And it's probably large parts of it is to take the kicking duties off Manie Libbok. I wouldn't be surprised if Andre comes on a bit later. So Manie just comes on. Maybe for Fassi, we see Sasha move to fullback. And then Sasha just continue taking on the kicking duties. Otherwise, they'll just come on together. But we just know Manie Libbok is not going to be kicking this game. The forwards on the bench, 5-3 split. It's the same that I would have chosen if I knew that was the starting lineup. Malcolm Marx, Oxenchef, Vincent Koch. You got the experience coming from the bench, the big boys. And then obviously the experience of Eben Etzebeth coming off the bench. And then Kwagga Smith as well. That can fill into any of those loosey positions. So overall, I wouldn't say I'm not happy. That's not what I'm getting down to. But like the main thing that comes to my mind is just confusion. I just don't understand it necessarily. I don't need to really understand it, to be fair. Like obviously we just watch it, we enjoy it, we are fans of the game. But for my initial perspective when I saw it, I didn't understand it. I don't see what the point of it is. It kind of feels like we are writing off the Wallabies. That is the main thing for me. And I really don't want this. I'm tired of this World Cup to World Cup. We win World Cups, but we don't win enough rugby championships. Because if we, in the end, lose this game and we lose the rugby championship, it's down to this game. It's down to this. Like taking them lightly. It feels like we've given the Wallabies a sniff, a toe into our house, which I don't like. Right? Because there's not a ton of experience. There's not a ton of chemistry here. And obviously you want to build that stuff, but you want to build it with your main boys playing. Like, that's why I mentioned, I love Johan Grobler. I would have played Johan Grobler with Malcolm Marx and Oxenchef. If you want to do that. If you want to play Salman Murat, obviously I know Franco Mostert is injured. I know RG Snyman is injured. I'm not sure if RG is still injured. But if you want to play Salman Murat, you play one of the 2 5s with him to partner him. You don't put him in a total new combination. Same with Ruan Orkia. You start even with him to kind of just ease him into this thing. Where Salman Murat and Ruan Orkia both need to still find their feet. Like, it doesn't make sense. The perfect example is literally what we've done with the Lucies. Right? Like, Pieter Steff playing, Elrich Louw playing, so Marco van Staden can come in. Or even Marco van Staden plays with Pieter Steff so much you can ease Elrich Louw into it. Like, it just makes more sense. I'm sure you understand what I mean. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, I do love and appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time. Thank you.